Let's get you our top story, and this is in regard to a big deal that's coming up, and this is a deal between the United States and India. This is the announcement that's been made by Donald Trump, who went on to say that America has signed a deal with China and then hinted at a very big deal coming up with India that's going to open up India. This was at the Big Beautiful Bill event. That is how Donald Trump has gone on to describe that event, and this has been something that took many days. There's been behind closed doors. We will get you all the details. First, listen in to what Donald Trump had to say.
We just signed with China yesterday, right? Just signed with China. We have everybody. We're not going to make deals with everybody. Some we're just going to send them a letter, say thank you very much. You're going to pay 25, 35, 45%. That's the easy way to do it. And my people don't want to do it that way. They want to do some of it, but they want to make more deals than I would do. But we're having some great deals. We have one coming up, maybe with India, very big one, where we're going to open up India. In the China deal, we're starting to open up China, things that never really could have happened. And the relationship with every country has been very good.
He has just mentioned that there will be a big deal between India and the US. He has not divulged any details as such, but there are some things that we can look at. As far as the impact of this deal is concerned, there could be several. The first one could be lower tariffs for Indian goods, greater access to US market, there could be spur in job creation, and more investments in private sector. So these are some of the things that could be impacted directly if the trade deal is finally signed. So there are some levels that India and US need to cross before they finalize on this agreement. They're aiming to sign the first level of that deal by the fall, by about September or October. So that will have to be seen. There have been several parleys between both the parties. Just earlier this month, Howard Lutnick has said that there will be a deal between both the countries soon. So there have been some positive comments. So we'll have the details soon when the deal is finally signed, and then we'll get you more.
Right, Vishal, of course, stay with us for the next story, and this is in regard to a very crucial bilateral meeting that's taken place at the SCO in China. It's the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh who's met with the Defence Minister of China. This really comes on the heels of his meeting with the Russian Defence Minister. Take us through, what has really happened here, Vishal, in terms of Rajnath Singh. They're calling it a very constructive exchange of views, a very crucial meeting. This is the first time that the two defence ministers are meeting after both sides have warmed up to each other since the border agreement.
Defence Minister of India Rajnath Singh has just taken to X and tweeted out some of the details that went down during the meeting. He said that we had a constructive and forward-looking exchange of views on issues pertaining to bilateral relations, and he has also expressed happiness on restarting of the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra after a gap of nearly 6 years. And he has also gone on to mention that it is incumbent on both sides to maintain this positive momentum. So he's sort of building upon the agreement that you mentioned just a few moments ago, that India and China signed about 8 months ago on resolving some of the border tensions, and the ties have been sort of improving. There has been a thaw when it comes to the relationship between both the countries. So the leader, India's leader, is building upon that and saying that India and China need to build on that momentum and take the ties forward.
Right, Vishal, thank you so much for getting us all those details. And in other news, it's the United Nations saying that Fordo centrifuges have been destroyed in that strike as far as nuclear facilities are concerned, and they suffered significant physical damage. That is what the UN watchdog chief has gone on to say, that centrifuges are no longer operating. This is according to the satellite imagery that's showing the impact of the strike at the Fordo nuclear site, and there's no access as far as inspectors are concerned. And this is post those strikes, those bunker buster bombs that caused major damage to the plant, and that damage has now been confirmed despite the Iranian side making those denials, literally denying the kind of impact that has been seen, in fact, as far as satellite images are concerned. So that is the very latest, the US claiming that these are the claims that have been backed. Of course, the CIA also backing those claims of President Donald Trump.
Pouvez-vous nous dire aujourd'hui si le programme nucléaire iranien est anéanti?
Je ne sais pas, je crois qu'anéanti c'est trop, mais il a subi d'énormes dégâts. Donc les attaques qui ont commencé le 13 juin ont eu comme résultat des dégâts physiques très importants sur 3 sites, celui de Natanz, Isfahan et Fordo, où l'Iran avait ou concentrait la plupart de ses activités liées à l'enrichissement, à la conversion de l'uranium, donc très important. Il y a d'autres sites nucléaires en Iran qui n'ont pas été atteints, mais c'est vrai qu'il est clair, je sais qu'il y a beaucoup d'évaluations, à quel degré, etc.
C'est ça, c'est toutes les questions de ces dernières heures.
Annihilation, destruction totale, etc. Moi, c'est pas ce que je peux vous dire, et là, je crois que tout le monde est d'accord, il y a des dégâts très, très, très considérables.
Moving on, the United States Supreme Court is set to deliver rulings in 6 major cases as its term wraps up. At the top of the list is President Trump's attempt to deny birthright citizenship to children of undocumented immigrants. Blocked so far by lower courts, other high-stakes cases involved religious riots in schools as well as racial issues in Louisiana, and the rulings could reshape civil rights, voting as well as digital freedoms, just as Donald Trump's second-term agenda faces mounting legal resistance. Let's just get you the very latest, and this is in regard to what is taking place. In fact, we have the Harvard announcement coming about in regard to these are plans as far as international students are concerned. So this is something that is extremely crucial at this point in time. So the University of Harvard as well as the Toronto University, they're making these plans in order. They have agreed to back up student plan visas, and they have issued these prompt cross-border education deals as well. Maha joining us from Canada. Take us through the kind of deal that Canada is offering, particularly the Toronto University.
Divya, the North American universities are now collaborating to tide over any possible hiccups that international students could face in the US because of any possible immigration-related changes for international students. So we are seeing that the Harvard Kennedy School is now in collaboration with the University of Toronto's Monk School for global governance and policy. What they are planning to do now is that the returning students to Harvard Kennedy School who might face any problem, if at all, could then finish their program at the University of Toronto's Monk School. This collaboration is coming through both through online classes as well as in-person classes. So the option to take online classes with the faculty from Harvard Kennedy School and with the faculty from University of Toronto will exist for students who might face visa-related problems. And this is specifically for returning students who are coming back this fall. Moreover, the University of Toronto has announced that these students will be allowed to take part in all the extracurricular activities on the university campus. They have also allayed concerns, if any, to the students in University of Toronto, saying that they will not be impacted. The number of student enrollments within the Monk School will not be impacted, nor will their spaces for residents within the university campus. So this is a collaborative effort to overcome any hiccups that the international students might face. Meanwhile, the students who are likely to move from the Harvard Kennedy School, if at all, to the University of Toronto's Monk School, will not be paying their fees to the University of Toronto. Rather, it continues to go to the Harvard Kennedy School, and they will then cover the overall costs of any students who might need this diversion to the University of Toronto.
Thank you so much, Maha, for joining us from Canada, getting us all those details. Moving on now, of course, let's get you the latest when it comes to the claims that are being made as far as the damage to the nuclear sites in Iran is concerned. And this really comes at a time when Donald Trump's administration, of course, they're saying that it has set back Iran by years in regard to that tussle that continues in regard to the damage. Of course, Iran on the other side says that the United States gained nothing from the strikes, and it was nothing but showmanship. That is how Iran is describing those strikes, calling it a failure. And this is something that is being defended not just by Donald Trump and his administration, but the CIA is also now backing claims as far as Donald Trump is concerned, backing those claims, saying that they have in fact severely damaged those sites. That is the claim and the support that the CIA is providing in its initial report that the United States strikes as far as Iran is concerned were completely successful. On the other side, Iran has completely gone on to deny those claims while saying that it was nothing but showmanship.
President Trump directed the most complex and secretive military operation in history, and it was a resounding success, resulting in a ceasefire agreement and the end of the 12-day war. There's been a lot of discussion about what happened and what didn't happen. Step back for a second. Because of decisive military action, President Trump created the conditions to end the war, decimating, choose your word, obliterating, destroying Iran's nuclear capabilities. Every outlet has breathlessly reported on a preliminary assessment from DIA. I'm looking at it right now. Again, it was preliminary, a day and a half after the actual strike, when it admits itself in writing that it requires weeks to accumulate the necessary data to make such an assessment. It's preliminary. It points out that it's not been coordinated with the intelligence community at all. There's low confidence in this particular report. It says in the report there are gaps in the information. It says in the report multiple linchpin assumptions are what this assessment, a linchpin assumption, you know what that is? That means your entire premise is predicated on a linchpin. If you're wrong, everything else is wrong. And yet, and still, this report acknowledges it's likely severe damage.
به مراکز هسته‌ای ما حمله کردن که البته این در خور پیگیری جزایی در دادگاه‌های بین‌المللی است به طور مستقل، اما نتوانستن کار مهمی انجام بدن. رئیس جمهور آمریکا در شرح اونچه که واقع شده بود بزرگ نمایی غیر متعارفی کرد. معلوم شد که به این بزرگ نمایی احتیاج داره. جمهوری اسلامی سیلی سختی به گونه آمریکا نواخت. به یکی از پایگاه‌های مهم آمریکا در منطقه، پایگاه العدید، حمله کرد و خساراتی وارد کرد.
And with that, we're slipping into a very short break. You're watching NDTV World. We'll be back on the other side. Stay with us. Welcome back. The police have recaptured the country's most wanted fugitive drug lord. We're talking about Adolfo Villamar, also known as Fordo, is the leader of a very powerful criminal gang which is blamed for the transformation from a tourist haven to a country with one of the highest murder rates in the region. We are talking about this drug lord who has the most wanted drug lord has been captured. Officials in Myanmar's major cities destroyed about $300 million US worth of confiscated illegal drugs on Thursday. The destroyed drugs included opium, heroin, marijuana, as well as others, and the stimulant known as ice or crystal meth. This is in a speech at the drug burning ceremony that took place, is what the police really had to say. Violent storms have battered France, and this is leaving 2 people dead and causing unexpected chaos inside the National Assembly. 2 people have died and 17 others injured as torrential storms swept across France, topping trees, flooding the streets of Paris and causing the roof of the National Assembly to spring a leak as well. And let's get you the very latest, and this is in regard to COP30. The chief has gone ahead and warned against carbon credit dependence, and this is Brazil there warning against over-reliance on carbon credits. This is the leaders calling for real climate action, and the credits alone won't change economy is what is being said. Now, the European Union may include credits in 2040, that's the target, but 90% emissions have been cut and the goal faces industry pushback. Scandals are in fact behind the emissions credits, and the forest schemes are being questioned for its actual impact. And let's get you the latest when it comes to three-time Olympic champion. We're talking about Faith. On Thursday, failed in a bid to become the first woman to run a mile in under 4 minutes. The Olympic 1500-meter gold medalist from Kenya ran in 4 minutes, and this was in fact at the charity. This is at the state charity in Paris. Her time was better than her world record, but won't be recognized by the International Federation because the Nike-sponsored event, dubbed as Breaking 4, Faith versus the 4-minute mile, was unofficial. And let's get you the latest, and this is as far as the first report that we're talking about. This is Editor-in-Chief of Vogue, Anna Wintour, will continue in her broader roles even though she steps down as the Editor-in-Chief of Vogue. So she is going to continue as far as her broader roles are concerned, including Editor-Director. She, at 74, has served, for the past 40 years, since 1988, as the Editor-in-Chief of Vogue. And let's also get you the very latest, and this is in regard to singer Sabrina Carpenter. And this is, of course, take a look at Sabrina Carpenter there. Well, she replaces album cover after backlash. This is the new artwork that has been approved by God, is what she says. The original image criticized for sexual violence, and that is the tone that was being used, and the fans are defending the art as satire on fame. Alternate versions of the shows as far as Carpenter is concerned, holding a man's arm. Now, that debate has really sparked discussion when it comes to art and the timing. And, Katy Perry also responding to the post with laughter. But this is, that the cover has now been changed because the public was divided on pop culture and its consent. And with that, we're slipping into a short break. Back with a whole lot more. Do stay with us.